stop and it looks much better. It's a small sliding, but man, this is so amazing. Now it's looking so much more immersive. And now I create another blend space, but in this case for stopping. So I have to keep in mind that the left leg will be in front and the right leg will be on the back. Right click and remove frames from 0 to 13. In this case, the first frames. And some values that I found works fantastically are 500 for the braking deceleration walking and 2 for the ground friction. Have you ever pressed a movement key and your character just snaps into motion like a robot or does not stop the motion? That's where immersion dies. Start and stop animations are where characters can lose credibility. Not because the system is broken, but because the movement has not weight or not precision. Today we're going to fix that. In this episode of Mad Gameverse Development, we're not just making the character move. We're teaching it how to start with power, how to start with control, and how to transition beautifully in every direction. I'm talking about right, left, and backwards because forward is already working. And the tool we'll be using is Blendspaces in Unreal Engine, a tool that you must dominate if you want to become a professional in Unreal. And when you master this, your third-person shooter character stops looking stiff and starts moving like a professional character. And that's the difference between playing with mechanics and building like a serious game developer. This is the Game Creator Accelerator channel, and I am Tony Munoz. Like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell so you don't miss future tutorials in this series where we are building Mad Gameverse, our third-person shooter, and the entire code is available for you here on this channel. And also remember that creating games is more than just learning code. You also need the right strategies to impact the gaming industry with your groundbreaking ideas. Take my free training at woolen.com/free training. You can find the link in the description or you can click on the top right corner of this screen. Now, let's get started. Let's start by discussing what was the problem in the last occasion, in our last video. When I moved to the right starting from 0, you see that the character first start running forward and then to the right. If I do the same with the left, it's kind of the same weird behavior. And the same thing happens when I go backwards. So before beginning going backwards, you go forward and then goes backward, kind of a Michael Jackson style, but this is not what I want at this moment. So let's fix this. First, I need to identify the animations that will allow me to go in different directions. And for the Paragon characters, usually you have these animations. So let's go to Characters, Heroes, Wraith, and Animations. And here we can find them. So the first one I want to look for is Jog. I think it will be backward start. Here it is. Because what I want is to find that animation that starts the movement. The rest of the animation is working. So let's focus on the starting. Now I want to drag that animation inside Games, Characters, Main Character, because we have to be all the time ordered. And I want to place it here. So drag it and let it go in Animations and copy. So we have the backward starting. The other animation I want from the backward is the stop. So let's drag the jog backward stop inside Animation and again copy. Now let's go to the left animation. We can do the stop first, drag, copy, and now the start. Jog left, drag, copy, and finally I think I can leave this ST at the end and let's go for the right. Okay, jog right start, drag inside Animation and copy, and jog right stop, drag inside Animation and copy. Very repetitive, but now we have them. Click on the animations and we're going to make some changes here. First is renaming. Remember that we use to change the terminal for all this animation to differentiate them from the originals. And the terminal is GB. So let's take all the animations that we just added and jog backward. Let's go and add at the end GB. GB, by the way, it can be anything, but for me it's easy to remember that this is like the game version. That's why I call them GB. For the stop, the same thing. Now let's go for the left and stop. For the right, click again and start. And now the last one on this group, which will be the stop to the right. Finishing this, we have all the animations we need. At least I think that all that we need right now. Now we're moving to the second step, which is creating our new blend space. We're going to create one blend space when starting moving, and we're going to create another blend space when starting stopping. So inside our animation folder, right-click, look for animation, and select blend space. Our skeleton is the wraith skeleton. Let's start with the starting movement. So let's call this one Yog Start Blend Space. And let's open this new blend space. Now we're going to do something similar to what we did in the previous video, and you can find the link in the description to that video as well. In the horizontal axis, we're going to add the name offset yaw, the same that we used a moment ago in the previous video. And the minimum value will be minus 180 to 180. Now you can see that we have in the graphic in the horizontal axis the offset yaw and comes from 180 to minus 180. Now let's look for our animations that start with start and that finish with GB. In 0 degrees, we will go forward. So let's start with the forward animation, drag it inside, and remember that you can use the shift key down so you can snap it to a specific degree. In this case, 0, 90, 180, etc. Now we have it in 0 degrees. Great. If we're going to minus 180 or 180, we use the jog backward. So drag the jog backwards, go to minus 80, and here's one. And for the 180, here's the other. For the right will be 90 degrees. So drag this one inside the 90 degrees and the left to minus 90 degrees. Keeping the control down and moving the mouse, you can see all the animations. How they start moving backwards, how they start moving to the right, moving to the left, and moving backwards but on the other direction. And of course, the forward. Save this. And now create another blend space, but in this case for stopping. So go to Animation, Blend Space, the same wraith skeleton, and the name will be Yog Stop Blend Space. Again, opening this new blend space, set the offset yaw from minus 180 to 180, and now look for the stop GV. If you're going to stop forward, let's drag this one to 0 degrees. If you're going to stop backwards, this one to the back, this one to the other, minus 80. Stop to the right will be this one, and stop to the left will be this one. With control, you can see the animations for stopping and reposition. Awesome. And now that it's working, just save and close. The next step to present the animations is to use the animation blueprint. Inside the folder Wraith, you have the shooter Wraith animation blueprint. Open it. Inside the locomotion movement, we have this state machine. The first we're going to cover is moving from idle to jog begin. So open the state of jog begin. And can you ask yourself what will be the animation blend space that we're going to use? Yes, blend space, and will be the jog start blend space. So drag it inside here. We can remove now this animation and we'll connect this jog start blend space to the output animation pose. Now at this point, the offset yaw is set to 0, but we know that we are controlling that in C++. So right click and look for offset yaw. Here we have it. And now connect this offset yaw to the offset. Awesome. Now compile, save, and let's test it. Let's start, and let's say I'm going to start moving to the right. Awesome. It's starting moving to the right. Excellent. And to the left. Cool. And backwards. Excellent. Now we have a couple of things that we have to fix. In fact, let me open a bit more space so you can see it clearly. Clearer. So if I move to the right, you can see that it's kind of flickering in the animations. Once they finish the starting animation for running to the left or to the right, there is some small flickering. There it is. So we need to fix that. We need to fix this transition. So one option is can go back to the animations. Yeah, in fact, that's the one I'm going to take. Let's going to take to the animations and look for start. And let's fix first the jog right start. Let's stop this animation. And you can see that we have all this space so he can start running. But once they started, there are a lot of steps that I'm taking. So what I'm going to do first is look here for jog right. And let's check the position once this character is running. So let's open the jog right GV. This is where this character is going to start the animation of the jogging. I mean, not starting jogging, but start the animation of jogging. So if I play this, look how it's looking. It's looking fantastic. But the first frame is this one. So I have to keep in mind that the left leg will be in front and the right leg will be on the back. Now let's go back to the right start GB. So I want to cut this in a position where the left leg will be in a place, I would say like something like here. I think that might work. In fact, let me check if the position, the vertical position of this character changes, if it goes to look a bit more, I don't know, like straight. Because if that the case, that could be the best position to have it for the transition. So let's say that I like this one. So right click and remove frames in range of 65 to 84. So the last frames. Now save, go back to map 1. Let me open this space to watch it clearer. And now let's run to the right. Okay. Yeah, you see that there is a small flickering here, just a little bit. So let's continue fixing that. I think that at this moment I used too many frames. So let's get here to the animation and check. Okay, let's check. Let me try to move this. Probably this position could be good. This is something that you will try and do it yourself until you feel that it is working the way you wanted. See? It's a little bit better. Not perfect, I had to say, but a little bit better. I don't want you to waste years trying to figure out what took me 3 years of full dedication to understand about the breaking into the gaming industry. That's why this channel exists. Yes, I teach on Real Engine, but that is only half of the equation. The other half is methodology, strategy, positioning. And that's what most people, game developers, failed. Because this is not just about learning a tool. It is about building presence as you evolve into an outstanding professional. It is not about grinding 40 hours a week. It is about a few intentional directed hours after your job. Directed with a structure, with guidance, with a mirror that shows you where you are and what must improve next. Because feedback is what accelerates growth. That is why I created the Game Creator Accelerator Mentorship. Inside, my students learn Unreal in a structured way while building high-quality projects, growing their audience, and receiving weekly feedback that pushes them to level up again and again. If you're serious about transforming your future in game development, take my free 30-minute training at woolen.com/free training. In that training, I show you what it really takes to reinvent yourself into a visible, competitive, and confident game creator. You'll find the link in the description or in the top right corner of this screen. And if you want to speak directly with me to understand where you are, where you want to go, and what is standing between you and the next level, you can book a call through the link in the description. Your transformation can start today. What are you waiting for? After playing for some minutes, I found that my good place to cut is the 54. So it was when the other leg, in fact, was on the back. If we compare it to the original animation that when it started, the left back was in the front. But now it's working better. The other thing I want to fix is the beginning. Because at the beginning, you see that the character is kind of sliding. And I don't want to slide. I just want to, as soon as we decided to go to the right, it starts moving. So all these frames can be avoided until the point where it literally starts moving, which will be, I think, will be a place like this one. Right click, and remove frames from 0 to 13. In this case, the first frames. So let's save and test it to the right. Perfect. Now it's not sliding. Now it's just starting running immediately. Let's go back to the animation and do something similar, but to the left. So look for jog left. Let's see the original jog left, where it starts. If you run it, you can see that it starts on with the right leg to the front. So we probably want to do the opposite position. Let's test it. Open the jog left, start GB, and let's see the animation. So start running, and I would say that someplace around here should be okay. Let's test it. Remove frames in range from 29 to 56. Save, map, and go to the left. Yeah, looking good. Go back. And now we're going to do the same thing for the sliding at the beginning. I want to remove all these animations just in the moment that it starts moving. I would say a place like here. So remove frames in range from 0 to 8. Save, map, and let's test. Looking awesome. Let's go to the right now. Awesome. And if we change, great. It's looking great. Now let's go to the backwards. Jog. I think it's BWD. Yeah, here it is. Let's see the original animation for backwards. It starts with the right leg in front. Look at the animation. Awesome. So right leg in front. So we can move the left leg to the front. At least this is how it's working for me. Again, you have to test it for your own case. Let's open the Start GV. Move it to the movement. I would say could be a place. What would you say, Tony? I would say probably like here. Let me try this one. Right click, remove frames, save, map, and now we're going backwards. Yeah, I think it's looking great. And now removing as well the Michael Jackson Moonwalker, which is this sliding at the beginning. And I look at the point where it starts moving. It will be here. This is the point where the character really starts moving. So right click and remove now from the beginning from 0 to 11. Save, map, and run. Okay, so when we start moving, you can see that it's working fantastically. And to the left as well, and to the back. When starting is great, but the last animation that we are playing now, no matter the direction that you take, is the stopping animation for the front. So all are playing the same one. And I want to play the stopping animation, but for the movement that the character is taking at that point. So let's go back to our animation blueprint and to the locomotion and open now the state of jog finish. We created a blend space for the stopping, so let's drag that blend space, which is the jog stop blend space, and connect it to the output. And let's remove this animation. As you can see, it is only the stop animation when you go forward. And as we did previously, the offset yaw will be connected to the offset that we calculated in C++. And connect this one to the offset yaw. Compile, save, and let's test. Let's go, for example, to the right. Okay, I'm taking to the right and let it go. And as you can see, it does some steps before stopping. This is not perfect. We're going to solve that. And the same thing applies if we go backwards. It starts good, but then it slides some steps. So not perfect. Let's go back here and let's look for the stops. So for the job backward, this is the stop. Open it. And if we play the animation, you'll see that there is taking a lot of stops before the stopping. I don't want that. I just want to stop it. So let's see what is the point of the animation where it really stops. I think this place will be. Let me check. Yes, this place will be. So right click and remove the frames in range from 0 to 26. Let's see how this works. Now we're going to stop backwards. Okay, let it go. And it stops immediately. Oh, blending beautifully. Back here and jog right and stop. Okay, let's see the stop to the right. If we play it, look all the steps he's taking before stopping. This is the stop. This step will be the stop. So right click, remove frames from 0 to 35. Let's test. To the right and stop. Awesome. And finally, I think finally, is the jog left and the stop for jog left. Again, it's taking a lot of steps before stopping. Let's see what is the step where the character really stops. It is here. Okay, it is here. Awesome. I think it will be a place like this one. So right click, remove from 0 to 45, save, map. Let's test to the left, going left and then stop. Awesome. Now we have all the animations for the starting and stopping, no matter the direction that the character is going to take. So this character is starting to look amazing in terms of the movement animations. One extra small thing I want to add for making this immersive character is tweaking with some values. Let's go to the Wraith and let's close this filter and open your character blueprint, not the animation, but the character blueprint. Open full blueprint editor and click on the character movement component. You will find in the details these two groups, which are the character movement and the character movement walking. The value of max acceleration makes that the character starts moving immediately to the speed that you want to go. And sometimes we want to have the effect of ramping up this speed. So you can play with different values. I found that 1024, which is half of the original value, works much better. So compile and let's test it. Now we're going to start running, and you can see that it's a soft element, but it takes a little bit more of time before starting running. It's like a small sliding before getting to the full speed. Now let's go to the others. In the character movement walking, in this section, you have two parameters that I recommend you to play also with them. These values are the ground friction and the braking deceleration walking. I like my character to have that feeling of sliding just a little bit. And some values that I found works fantastically are 500 for the braking deceleration walking and 2 for the ground friction. Compile and save. And now let's see how our character looks when we stop. Let me open more space so you can see it. So I start running and then I stop, and it's just, oh well, it didn't look very good. And I stop and it looks much better. It's a small sliding, but man, this is so amazing. Now it's looking so much more immersive. I love this small tweak. And of course, I recommend you to play with these values until you find something that you love. Now you can understand how to control your start and stop animations using Blendspace in Unreal Engine. And look at the difference. Your character no longer snaps into motion. It moves with immersion, with control, with presence. This is how you elevate your third-person shooter character from functional to professional. And remember, this is just one piece of a much bigger system we're building together in Mad Gameverse. In the next video, we'll continue exploring extra mechanics that will add to our aiming system and crosshair. So stick to this series and get ready for the next episode. If this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, share it with someone who might need it, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you want to go beyond tutorials and truly transform your path in the gaming industry, take my free training at woolen.com/free training. The link is in the description and in the top right corner of this screen. And don't forget to check my video about how to hack in the gaming industry. Until next time, keep creating, keep sharing, and most importantly, keep dreaming big. I'll see you soon, my fellow creators.